three drawings opened. I have sprinkler floor 1, sprinkler floor 2, and sprinkler floor 3. And of course, you can also have XREF. Of course, I haven't any architect drawing here, but of course, you can put it in normal XREF in AutoCAD. When you're drawing with MagiCAD, we are drawing under the tab called MagiCAD HP and V, and it's heating, piping, ventilation. And of course, in some countries, maybe you cool your buildings more than you heat, but up here, where MagiCAD are developed, we heat them more. But generally, we can say we draw all the pipes and ducts with heating and piping. And then we have electrical, switchboard schematics, something called MagiCAD room, circuit designer, system designer, MagiCAD plugins. But we're going to concentrate to the sprinkler part here today. So to draw a sprinkler head, then you just push to the sprinkler head button, and then you get the dialog called sprinkler selection. And I have just 3 sprinkler heads to draw out, but of course I can add more sprinkler heads to this. All these 3 drawings, the floor 1, floor 2, floor 3, they are connected to something it's called a project file. So if we go into the project, my projects it's called a sprinkler. So this is a separate file that are outside the CAD. It's a Windows file. And in this file, you can store information that you can use in all the drawings that you're connecting to this project file. So here I have 3 floor plans, and I have added a set value to each of them. So my first floor is connected to, no, I have something wrong. It's called active floor 3. I should be active floor 1. And let's see the second floor. It should be connected to the second floor, because here we put the heights. So I have now 25, 28, 31 meters. So I have 3 meters between the floors on each. So if I have a 10-story building, of course, I add 10 stories. Here should be connected to floor 3, of course. So my sprinkler floor 3 is on 31 meters and it's active stories. And if we go down for pipes, here we have sprinklers. Here we can create the systems. So in this case, in this project, I have 3 sprinkler systems. Maybe if it's a small system, you just have 1, but if it's a large project, you need maybe to have more than 1 sprinkler network. And if we're checking the user code, of course, you can name it in your own language, of course. When you start, in many of the countries we have here in Europe, we have made a ready-made template. But of course, we don't know exactly how your company are naming this sprinkler system. So I have SPR and then just a name. And I can set the distribution pipe start from which size. Do you want to include this system into the bill of materials? If I take this away, when I'm doing the bill of materials, pipes and sprinkler heads and anything drawn out on this sprinkler 1 are not going to be included in the bill of materials. You can put colors on your range pipes or your distribution pipes. Which line type do you want to use? I have by layer here, but of course you can say, okay, in my country we always draw them continuous or some other line type. I have my pipes so they are changing line time between heights. It's a setting that we had here up in Nordics. So if the pipe are below 0, it's dashed. If it's between 0 and like 1.5 meter, they are continuous. If they are between 1.5 meter and up to the roof or the slab, then they are dash dotted, and above the slab they are dash dot. So the contractor can see mainly where this pipe is going to be installed. And we can also put extra variables into, and then we have for this system, if you do want to do sizing for the sprinkler pipes or not, or the hydraulic calculations, yes. Which sizing method? I have just one here, coming to that. And then I have general settings for this system. I have the coverage area, pressure at the weakest sprinkler, warning limits for high velocity. So if I'm doing the pressure calculation, I have more than 10 meters per second in one pipe, I'm going to get a warning. Do you want to, from which welded pipe starts from size 65, but of course, so in different systems, you can have different settings. Do you want to use the Hayes and Williams friction loss method or the Darcy-Weisbach? I take Hayes and Williams for this, but of course you can change and recalculate it. Okay. You can set your layers. Different countries have different layers for their pipes. So here I have used the Swedish template. So we call the layer is V54B-FE. Then we have something called inside this parenthesis, we have STV and a system variable. It means the status variable, if I'm drawing on a different status, maybe I insert a new one. I name it X and it's existing. And if I put here a layer variable called EX, so when I'm drawing on this existing status, then it's going to add this layer variable. So all my pipes that I had drawn on this, then it's going to add an EX in the layer name. And system variable 1, it's if you have many systems. So I have system variable 1, so then it's going to add this SPR to the layer. So you can set up, so when you draw, the layers automatically go to the right layer. Maybe it seems a little bit odd, but it's not hard at all to set up this. And of course, if you're using a template that we have created already for you, then of course they go to the right layer directly. But if you want to change it, it's not hard at all. We can also size the sprinkler pipes, and you can of course create many sizing methods. I have just one here, and we are just going after how many sprinklers on the branch you can have. So if I have one sprinkler, it's going to size to 25. If I have two, 32, up to 3, size 40. So then it's going to follow this table. But of course, I can create more. So I copy this and I paste it. And I name it sprinkler 2. And I maybe change here to, here I would have 40. And I want to have 50. 60, 70, and that one we delete. So now I have a new sizing method called sprinkler 2. If I want to use that and I want to size my sprinkler pipes, let's say on my sprinkler 2 here, I want to have another sizing. I'll say, okay, when I'm drawing and calculating my sprinkler 2 network, then I want to use the sizing method sprinkler 2. Yes. We go down to dimension text. Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit. When I'm pointing to a pipe or to a sprinkler head, then we have different text formats. So if I'm checking the sprinkler, the pipe, the sprinkler, I have a little bit star here. This is now activated. The status plus dimension. If I double click on this one, it says it's going to take the status name and the connection size. So if I have used this existing EX and then the connection size, but maybe I want to have another one. I'm going to insert a new one, and I say maybe system. So this is just a name plus size. Okay. The text style, I want to go after project, text style by project, text color by project, and then I go for maybe user code, and then I want to have a constant called minus, and then I want to have a connection size. Okay. Then maybe I want to have a reference line. I want to have an arrow here, and it should be rather big so we can see it. And if I have now first row, so now I have a new text format called system and size. If I double click on this, no, it's not here. It should now. So now I can text my sprinkler pipes with 4 different formats that have 4 different sets of information. And of course, same with the sprinkler heads, which data. In this one, name and temperature. And you have valves and so on. So different groups or products can have different text. We can just put out some text just here. I just zoom in here, and I think I go to the first floor. Okay, I want to put out some text over here. Then I go for annotation, and I go for text. And if I now right click, I have underline, overline by side, and I have format, because for sprinklers, for the pipe, then I have now status and dimension active. But I'll double click on this one. So now it's going to say system plus size. And I'm going to have a big arrow. So if I now choose this one, when I'm now pointing, then I have my system and the size. So this is now the system name BS9251-2, and then the size is 50. If I'm pointing some otherwhere, of course, the system is still the same, but the size of the pipe is something else. And if let's say that I install a stop valve, just for showing, stop valve, and I want to use this one, and just show somewhere. And if I now put text on this one also, so when I'm selecting some other product, in this case a valve, then it's have now the name for this valve, AV2, and the size for it. So MagiCAD feels, of course, if you take this yellow circle on your crosshair and point at anything, then it's going to text that product you are pointing at. And of course, if you take a sprinkler head now, of course you need to find it. And this yellow circle, if you zoom in here, I have first, of course, I have a T branch, and then I have a vertical pipe, and down here I have a sprinkler head. The circle is searching from top to bottom, so I can be in the 2D in my top view, and I can just point over here. Then MagiCAD, what do we want to text? Is it the T branch, some reduction, the sprinkler pipe, or the sprinkler head? Okay, I'll take the sprinkler heads. So you don't need to go out of this view to get a hold of this sprinkler head. You can also do it with in top view, but you get a list if you hit more than one thing with the circle. We were now at dimension text. And if you go down a little bit more, if you have, because now we were inside the sprinklers, we go down to parts, and we want to see the sprinklers. And when I was hitting this sprinkler button up here, I have a suggestion for 3 sprinklers. And of course, if I want to add a new sprinkler here, I can just say select product to the project. Then we go out to the cloud, to the internet. And here we have some databases. We have many sprinklers under the generic one. And if I now just selecting here, and I'm scrolling down, so different kinds of sprinklers. And of course, it takes some while before all the pictures are updated, but they are coming. But I take the top one. So with this, we have the connection size 15. We have the K factor, manufacturer is generic, the nominal release temperature, a product code, and response clause. So if I want to use this one, I say select. And then, of course, you name it after your country way of naming sprinkler heads or your company way. I name my SP3. We can also add some more data to this one. And all the data you have, of course, when you make the bill of materials, you can get this. Maybe I want to have a hyperlink. I say Sweden.sc. So then when I'm hovering over the sprinkler head, I can also get a hyperlink and go to this web page directly. Different countries have different symbols for sprinkler heads. And if I go for my Swedish one, then we have put in here Swedish symbol for different kind of sprinklers. If we go for Norway, and if you can't find your country here, I'm sure that you can find some maybe in the generic ones. But if you can't find it at all, it's not here. Of course, if you give us the information that in our country we have the standard that our sprinkler symbols should look like this, then of course we can add it directly, so all of the MagiCAD user can use this symbol. But of course, it can take a time. But then of course you can also just draw in with lines in AutoCAD. Here I have made just 4-5 rectangles. Or here I have drawn some very strange shape of, it's a circle with some dirt or something. Yeah, then I can select, okay, I want to use this symbol. So now we have the possibility in all the drawings that we are connected to this sprinkler project, in this case floor 1, floor 2, and floor 3, we can now draw out 4 different kinds of sprinkler heads. Excuse me. If we go down for pipe series, so here's all the pipes. If I have steel pipes or copper pipes or whatever pipes, so the information we add, of course, the name and the user code, and of course, if you're going to use the pipe for calculations, you need to have a Hayes and Williams factor to it. Otherwise, the calculations doesn't work. And then we add the size, the internal diameter, the outer diameter, which valve is going to fit on this pipe. We want to have how long should the bend be, so it's radius through dimension. And if you don't want to draw so tight on this 60, if I'm drawing with this pipe, I have told that it's the minimum length between a bend and a bend should be short 70. It means when you're drawing a bend, then you can't draw tighter than 70. But of course, afterwards you can stretch it together tighter. So of course, you can set up any kind of pipe series. Here I have made my own, a Peter pipe series. And all this pipe, and of course, if you add something, For example, I have now 4 sprinkler heads in this project. All the project files you have used. So tomorrow, if I'm starting a new project, if I'm using this sprinkler file as a template, of course, tomorrow directly I have this SP3 with me. So of course, normally our customers, they make their own template. So for example, in WSP here in Sweden, they have made a WSP template. So when they start, every project starts at the same. They have same products, same pipes, same layer. But of course, in every project, they don't have same products. So then they change. Maybe they add more sprinkler heads or take away some. Okay, and of course, some more settings. But now we start to draw something. And I'm going to start to draw somewhere just to show how easy it is to draw. So I go for the sprinkler pipes. Pipe. First time you draw for the day, you have to select which material you want to use. Okay, I want to use this steel pipe. Which size? Yeah, but you have sizing. Yeah, we have sizing, but anyway, maybe if you're going up or down or above or under some other pipes, it's of course good to have the right size. If I lock this one, then it's not going to be resized if I do some calculations. Do you want to put insulation to it? No. Do you want to put this status on the pipe? Then it's going to different layer. You can have different color. You can have different. No, I don't want to. You can also draw it with a slope downward, but the fall is 0, so it doesn't matter now if I have up or down. But of course, if I now put 8 millimeters in 1 meter downwards, so from the point I'm started, then it's going to slope very little downwards, or from the point, and the pipe should get higher and higher. But if I say 0 here, then of course nothing happens. When you draw the pipe, where do you want to hold it? So now I'm holding this in center. And if I'm changing the size, the reducer is going to be centric. But if I say I want to hold the pipe in my left hand, then the left side of the pipe is going to be, maybe if I put also an offset for 100. So if I'm now pointing to end points of a wall, then the left side of the pipe are automatically going to be drawn 100 millimeters from the wall. But I say I want to draw it centric. Then I get this yellow circle again on my crosshair. If I right click and that yellow circle hits a sprinkler head or a pipe or a pump or whatever, then it's going to start to draw from that product. And it's going to inherit the height and the size and so on. But if you don't find, I just left click here in the space somewhere, then I can start to draw this pipe, and I select now the sprinkler. I take this one. If you want to put status, you can do it. And of course, the height, the top level, the center level, or the bottom level. So let's say that I put my top level at 3 meters. Then it's not so hard for MagiCAD to calculate the center level and the bottom level. Or if I want to have my bottom level of the pipe at 2 meters, then of course it's not so hard to calculate. I start at 2 meters. So now I have the drawing command on. We zoom and pan a little bit over here also. When I'm clicking now, click, 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 we go backwards. Then the pipes get longer and longer. It's still the same pipe. It's not divided in many small pieces. And if I go backwards, it gets shorter and shorter. Okay. If I want to turn, I can just turn, turn, turn. Down in the command line, we have some extra options. But we can also, of course, right click and get the same. Okay, in this case, I want to go backwards, or I can also type the capital. Backwards is B, back, back. Then it's jumping backwards because I want to go this way. If I want to change the height of the pipe, I can either right click and said I want to go in Z direction. We have X, Y, and Z coordinate. And let's say that I want to go with my pipe down to 1 meter. How do you want to go down to 1 meter? Yeah, I want to go 90 degrees. Okay. And I go this direction. But if I go in Z direction again, if I now have forgotten the height of the pipe I draw first, then I can say I want to go to I'm now at 1044, the center level. If I now take this button and say, no, I want to go up to this one. 2044. So I can, of course, inherit heights from other objects. And if you have used XREFs, your ventilation or electrical heating and cooling, you can, of course, also inherit heights or read heights through the external reference. No problem. But this time I want to go up with 45 degrees and I want to go to the left. Now it's really not so easy to see what's happened, but of course I made like this. If I now want to continue to draw a pipe, yeah, I go to the pipe, and if I now pointing here, for example, that's just starting with same system, same height, same pipe. If I going over here, it's a little bit lower. Let's just inherit the height from it. If I'm pointing over here I have two pipes in top of each other. Then the circle is searching from top to bottom. Then I get a list, because if the circle finds two objects, then I have to help MagiCAD to select where do you want to start. Yeah, let's say I take the bottom one here, the center at 1044, and I'm just drawing to the left. And of course, same thing if, for example, we are selecting this one. So I go from a sprinkler pipe, I just selecting here. Then, do you want to start from the bend at 2044, somewhere at the vertical pipe, or at the bend at 1044? I take the bend at 1044 and I continue to draw like this. Okay, but if you think it's more nice or more sexy or more fun, of course we can go to this isometric view. We can still draw the pipe. So then I want to start from this point and I can draw in this 3D view. But the nice thing with MagiCAD is that you don't need to leave your top view to get hold of something below or above. You don't need to go to this view to fetch that one. You can still do it in your top view. But if it's necessary or more fun, of course, you can also draw in the 3D view. Okay, let's now put out some sprinkler heads. Okay, let's say I take the first one. How much coverage area? Let's say 12. Let's say the flow density 5. Pressure at sprinkler, let's say 500. And then, of course, which symbol do you want to use? If I have selected, when I'm added this sprinkler head, I have added this one, then it's automatically there. But of course, I can take some other sprinkler symbol also. I'll say this one. Okay. And of course, we have to put it on the system. Okay, I take this test system. I say okay. And now I have also some extra thing to do here, but I just want to place my sprinkler here. And which height? We have the system. Do you want to have a status? Yeah, let's put this at 1.9. Okay, so there we have a sprinkler head, and we take a new one. So now, one by one, we're just putting out. But we can also make one array option. You can put the cell width, cell height. Should the given distance be maximum or exact? Do you want to have even alignment or this one? I'll say this one. I'll say OK. If you want to have really tight, then we say 500 times 500. And then you just, of course, make a square. So now I have put out. Today we don't have any magic rules or any rules that are saying that you can't be too close to this wall, or it's too close to this roof, or the designer have to know where to place the sprinkler heads. Okay, let's now, I go up here, I go in Z direction up to, let's say, 2.2 meters, 90 degrees up. And we are going to rotate this a little bit, like this. Now we go over here. To connect the sprinkler to the pipe, you just take a sprinkler pipe. I point over here and I point over here. If I had different sizes, because my sprinkler head had connection size 25, but I want to install it or draw it over here, and that pipe had 80. So it just say, so you know, now we have connected 25 to 80. Yes. Last time I was drawing size 25. It's the same thing if I continue to draw. If you see in the command line here, we have some, if I'm now pointing here, my active size was 15, and I was starting from 80. So now MagiCAD asks, what do you want to do? If I go for keep, then I'm going to draw with 15 from 80. If I take change, then it's going to change the active settings and draw 80. So you have also a checking so you don't connect. And also if you have different materials, if you by mistake selected some plastic pipes or something, if you try to connect or start to draw from a steel pipe with a plastic pipe, of course, then you have this pipe conflict also, but not for the size than you have for material. Okay. So just pointing to the sprinkler head, but of course down over here it can be rather many sprinklers. Yeah, of course we can start to draw a sprinkler head. I draw it from this point over here. Okay, and then we go with the command again. Now I just took the spacebar to, and I want to start from the sprinkler, and I connect to the pipe. And then we continue, spacebar, sprinkler to pipe. But this is, of course, rather hard, or not hard, but of course it takes time to do it. Then we can do like this instead. Under the pipe, sprinkler pipe button, we have also something called connect sprinklers. Then we can select many of them. Okay, these ones should now be connected to that pipe. Then you can take shortest path by a constant, by level, and change something, but I'll take just shortest path. Okay, so now, but as you see here now, it's just the pipe, the sprinkler heads that I'm connected. So if I want to have the rest of them, of course, I can run the command again. And now I say this should be connected here. And 2 was already connected. And then we continue with the next one. I connect sprinkler to pipe. I take this one, should be connected over here. But what I also can do, if I have made one, we delete this one, delete, and we delete this one. Okay, I deleted the pipe also. Let's continue. And if I want to continue to draw a pipe now, I can also just select a bend. I want to start from this bend. If I can just click on it. From this bend, I want to draw. So I'm changing a bend to a T branch. Okay, we now have drawn this branch. Then I can take also something we call a branch tool. I want to copy from this T branch to this direction. And if I now just dragging my cursor to the right and type 1000, 2000, 3000, then I'm copying this branch. And if I want to have them other direction, I can also take a Q for quick rotate, and then I do the same, but now I say 500, I say 1.5 meter, or of course I can just point here, so then we have made, first I draw one branch and then I copy it, and I also copy and rotate. Let's say now that we have, I have drawn now, we zoom into this one over here. I have drawn now and I have put the sprinkler heads downwards. But maybe I need to have them upwards. Yeah, of course, you can always delete and draw it again and put out sprinkler heads that are pointing upwards. But you can also do like this. Under modify, we have something called 3D rotate. And I want to rotate a branch. So from this start to that direction. So if I take ortho away now, and I'm now just, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can, I think. Okay, I just stopping here. So I do it again. Let's say a B for a branch. I take from this point to this direction. Take ortho away. Then I can, okay, I want to have them upwards. Now it was downwards. Yeah, but we can of course afterwards also rotate your sprinkler heads to other directions. You don't need to, but if you have how much time, yeah, you can of course always reread. We're going to put out some text now, and if I'm doing it manually, I can go for text. I can point here. I can say I want to take the sprinkler head, and I place it. But we have also automatic text. I just use it for sprinkler heads because for ventilation or for heating or cooling, I don't use it. But anyway, automatic text. I want to text my sprinklers. I want to have the name and the temperature, and I make a square around it. So now I have put out text to all the sprinkler heads automatically. But it doesn't feel if you have a door or a wall. It's just putting the text out. Then you have, of course, to select it and move it if it's in a way, or if you want to place it some other where. So I think it's, yeah, of course, if it's many sprinkler heads, it's a good feature. But let's say now that we have made some calculations and it doesn't work. And maybe you want to change something. For example, sprinkler heads. I want to change all this to some other sprinkler head. Yeah, of course, we can just double click on the sprinkler head. If I now can fetch it. And then I can say that I want to change some data here. And did I get the sprinkler head? Yes, I did. But here I can't change it. No, if you want to change the sprinkler head, you have to go to the Find and Replace. I can say select data from existing part, and I'm pointing to the sprinkler head. Okay, you have used this one. What do you want to do? Yeah, I want to change to another sprinkler head. Let's say that I take this SP3. Do you want to change the whole drawing? Select objects or system? No, I want to say I want to select objects, and I just making a square around this. And I had my own drawn sprinkler head symbol, so that's why it's like a square. And I have now changed the name, it's now SP3. If you want to change something else, maybe you want to change color, line type, or yeah, I don't know what, but then we can go for change properties. We can go for sprinklers. If you want to change the color or line type, change the bend radius, drawing mode, or yeah, whatever. So with change properties, you can nearly change any data that you already have drawn. Yeah, I'm going to change drawing now. You can delete this. We don't need it anymore. On my second floor here, I have made a square. And let's say that this is a shaft, because on the third floor, I have the same square, same shaft. And I'm going to send now from my second floor, I want to send the information with the vertical pipes from my second floor up to the third floor. Okay. And let's first, before we do it, I go into the project and I go into the story list. So my second floor starting at 28 meters above sea level, and my third floor starts at 31. So between floor and floor, I have 3 meters. It means if I draw my pipe from my second floor, and I want to start, we say here, I put it on a system, I take this test system, and I will start at, say, 2 meters. And let's go in here. And if I now go in Z direction, and if I now go up to the center level 3 meters, and I go 90 degrees up, and before I quit the command here, I'm going to make something we call a connection node. Then MagiCAD says the destination drawing. MagiCAD felt that I was drawing the pipe upwards. So it says that, yeah, maybe you want to send this pipe to the drawing above you. Yeah. Some countries have, of course, different symbols that you want to show that this pipe going from second floor up to third floor. In Sweden, we don't. We just have a circle. I cancel. I don't want to select. And I want to now say, okay. If I now change drawing to my sprinkler floor 3, and I say that I want to now bring the connection node up from my second floor, Of course, I can now take away gas, ducts, heating, water, sewage, and I say, okay. So then I get the pipe on the right X and Y coordinate, but the Z coordinate is now 0. So if I continue to draw a pipe here, and if I go in Z direction, you can see I start at the center 0. Let's now go up to 2 meters. We go OK, and we go over here maybe. Let's say direct on the line. Here I want to go in Z direction again, and now I want to do the vice versa. Now I'm at the 3rd floor. I want to send this sprinkler pipe down to the 2nd floor. So now I go down to the center level 0. I go OK, and I make the connection node. And now MagiCAD felt that you're drawing sprinkler pipe downwards. Do you want to send it to the drawing below you? Yes. And of course, if you see here, so you came up here, I went up and then down. So let's go down now to the 2nd floor. And I also want to get the nodes down, but from the 3rd floor this time. I say now, okay. So if we zoom in here now, you can see that we have a small circle at 3 meters. So this is how we connect the different drawings to each other. And we're also putting and reading data through this connection node so we can make the sprinkler calculations through the whole building. Maybe you have 10 sprinkler drawings on different heights, but we're sending and receiving data through these connection nodes to read and write data so we can do the sprinkler calculations through the whole building. Yes, and of course, in this project, I had the drawings on top of each other. But if I have also a large building, maybe I have to split floor 1 in floor 1 right, floor 1 left. If I draw my pipe to the right, then I'm making a connection node. Then I can send this destination drawing. Earlier, it was saying upwards or downwards, but I can also say you should go to the right. So you can send them to different directions. Okay. I'm going down now to my 1st floor. To make calculations, you need to have one area, and you define it under sprinkler design area. And you give it a name, area 99. Which Heisen class do you want to have on it? The text height, the text style, and lower Z from 0. So I'm making here like a shoebox. And of course, if I have sprinkler heads on 2.5 meters, and I put the upper Z, it's going to be at 2 meters. Then of course, this area, or it's not an area, it should be also a volume. But of course, the sprinkler heads, they have to be inside this volume. So maybe it's and here I have made my sprinkler area 51. Over here, I should have a pump, the incoming. So now I want to do the calculations. And with MagiCAD, we draw it with MagiCAD pipe. There we have the sprinkler. But to make the calculations, then we have, it's on a separate license. So of course, when you install MagiCAD, you can see calculations, and you can go for calculate sprinkler network or sprinkler sizing. But behind this, it's a separate license. So normally, our customers, maybe they have 5 MagiCAD piping because there are 5 engineers drawing sprinkler, but they have just one calculation engine. So there are 5 that are drawing, but 1 at a time can also do the calculations. Because in Sprinkler, you don't calculate as much as you do with, if I go for flow here for sizing, ductworks, they size a lot, heating and cooling and domestic water. But for Sprinkler, we have this calculation on separate license. Okay, let's go for calculate Sprinkler network. I think it's maybe I have to ask first, which system is this? It's under my Sprinkler 1. Okay, I want to now do the Sprinkler network, calculate Sprinkler network. It's under my Sprinkler 1. Which standard do you want to use? So we have like 3 European and 1 American. So EN 12845, CA 4001, NFPA 13, or BS. Okay, I take the CA. Which area do you want to calculate? Area 51. So now I'm going to calculate the weakest sprinkler. This means that MagiCAD is going to calculate how much pressure the pump have to give. If I have installed a pump with pump curves, I can say calculate after the pump pressure. And if the pressure from the pump is not enough, then you get a warning. Then you have to put a bigger pipe in. If you can't find a pump with that kind of data, then of course you can manually say, I have a pump that are giving me 6,666, but you don't need to draw the pump out. But in first case here now, I want to know how much I need to have. Okay. So here we have the results, general results. So if we now scroll down a little bit here now, and we have pressure level at feed point. I need to have 2,356 millibar. Then we can check the sprinkler results. We also get the node numbers out. We can go for system results. Check the equivalent length values. And of course, if I have installed the pump with a pump diagram, then of course we can see the pump diagram also. Maybe I want to now print this. I want to print it now to PDF writer. I'm going to put it on my desktop and I name it Monday. Okay. If you don't want to see node numbers, we can say hide node numbers, because when you're printing this out to the contractor, maybe they are not interested in your node number, but when you're going to follow your calculation, maybe you want to see the node numbers just over here. Of course, you can make a square around the whole drawing to get the node numbers. Let's now go to see the PDF file. Take which date should be today, Monday. So here we have now, of course, you can copy it to clipboard and take it to Excel also, no problem. So if we now scroll down, we have all the data. What more to do? Yeah, maybe we want to do bill of materials. What do you want to calculate? Yeah, sprinklers. Is it one area, current drawing, or all the drawings, floor 1, floor 2, floor 3? Do you want to take all system, or do you want to just take the test? No, we take all systems. And we say bill of materials. Okay, I have drawn out in these 3 drawings this sprinkler head SP1 45. And of course, same thing, edit, copy to clipboard or file and print. Now I took the copy to clipboard. If I start Excel, and of course I paste it. Yeah. If you want to have, because when I do the bill of materials today, then it's just, you can't select which columns. But let's say that I want to have some other data out. Yeah, no problem. Then you go to the same button, bill of materials. You can now do MagiCAD export. Then you can select yourself which attributes you want to have out and which data. Let's say on sprinkler, we say I want to just have sprinkler heads. And which data do you want to have? Yeah, let's say that I want to have, I don't know, DVD file grid. I want to have maybe user, manufacturer, or product code, user code. And I want to have, let's say, Y, Z coordinates, X, Y, and Z. And we copy this to the clipboard. We go to Excel again, and we maybe take a new sheet, and we paste it. So now I was selecting by myself which data I wanted to have out from this one. And if I'm going to have this kind of list out all the time, if I go back to MagiCAD, I can of course save this as something. Sprinkler, yeah, XXX or whatever, because then you don't need to do this selection again to have this kind of data out.